Okay, so I just briefly wanted to talk about how to start the mini wall section and a couple of things about how to frame it and just a couple quick pointers. First things first, I'm doing something slightly different this year. I have a lot of colored timber, pieces of 2x4 I have painted with varieties of color. Please disregard the colors of these studs. This was a demonstration that we made, and we used to color stuff to make it simpler, but I've decided to actually color stuff to organize what class you're in. So the thing you should care about is the top and bottom 36-inch plates. Those should be the same color as everyone else in your class. There's a variety of different colors going on. To get started with this project, what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and cut at least 2 of these studs. These are 21 inches long. Go ahead and cut 2 of those. If you wanna go ahead and cut all 4, you can, just don't lose them. And cut 2 of these top plates. Again, these are the ones that need to be the specific color. The goal is going to be that we first make the outside perimeter. And once we have that done, we'll come in and add this piece, and we'll add our nailer here. In order to put stuff together, I really highly advise you pre-nail your project sitting up on a bench such that the nails are just barely poking through. If you get too close to the edge, you'll get this problem right here where it starts to crack. We want to be just a little bit further back. If you're worried about that, you can use a 2x4 kind of as a gauge of where that nail wants to be. It's also important that our nail's not sitting at too much of an angle like this, because then when it drives through, it'll be sticking out and it'll be incredibly annoying. But again, we want those just barely sticking through the bottom. The idea behind this is when you go to nail your project together, I'm only using one hand here, so this is gonna be a little tricky. I put it on there, the first time I hit it, everything sticks together. If you don't do that, you're fighting this assembly of things that are floating around, and it just becomes very, very difficult to deal with. But if those are just sticking through, the first time it hits, it's gonna grab and lock everything together. My advice to you would be do this whole project right down on the floor like that, okay? You can stand on it, you can lean on it, you can nail stuff together. I think that really seems to work pretty well. As you can see here on the end, we're actually drilling our name into the project. That's nice because you can't sand it off, you can't remove it, it's really hard, and your project is yours. There should be a drill press set up to just barely drill that in. Again, there should be 2 people in your group, so you and your partner could either go on the same side or on opposite sides of the piece of wood. The second thing that's important to note here, the distance from this stud to this stud needs to be 16 inches on center. That means from the center of this to the center of this is 16 inches. It's also true that from the left to the left is 16, from the right to the right is 16. Okay, that's what we care about. Our nailer over here actually doesn't need to be measured. It just goes in place there. The nailer is entirely there to join the 2 wall sections together and to give the drywall a place to land. Everything on this project should be nailed through the top like this. So there's a nail here, into here, here, into here. Additionally, what I'm going to require is that all of the middle ones at least are toe-nailed. This is toe-nailing, here and here. Toe-nailing is a very difficult thing to do. If you want to ask Mr. Montois about that, he can elaborate. He has always really hated toe-nailing. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the nail about 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches up. I'm going to nail it in, and I'm going to give it a couple whacks. Again, I'm doing this with one hand. It's very tricky. And then once you have a little divot there, you can kick it up at an angle like that and start to drive that in, and then send it home, okay? If you go at an angle that is too vertical, the nail will stick through the bottom plate. So you want to go almost 45 degrees through this whole assembly, looking something like that. All right, have a good one, bye.